Hello everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day. I know I am. I had a great dinner earlier today. I was invited to Longhorn and food makes me really excited. So I had a great meal. I had shrimp. Oh, I love me some shrimp, especially in the South. Okay, this is not what I'm about to talk about today, but this is really important that people need to visit the South because, or especially here in Wilmington on the coast, because when you get seafood here, they give you an abundance of seafood. Like when I've had seafood back home in Jersey, I will get shrimp and they'll give you like maybe 6 like jumbo shrimp. You get shrimp here, they will fill your plate with some shrimp. So shout out to the seafood here because it is bomb and they give you a surplus, so it makes for an amazing dinner. This week I want to talk about a question that someone asked me a while ago that I actually never got around to answering, so I'm sorry, but I'm going to answer it this week. Kind of just asked me, how would you describe yourself? And I know it's like a basic question. I mean, it's kind of like the first question somebody asks you when they're trying to talk to you, or when you're in an interview and it's like, okay, how would you describe yourself? And I feel like for most of my life, I've always just taken on attributes to answer that question that people have given to me. So like people have said, oh, Monique, you're creative. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm creative. Or people will say, oh, Monique, you're hardworking. And so I'll say I'm hardworking. And these are things that people have said to me, but I've never really taken the time to look into the mirror and say, Monique, how would you describe yourself based on the performance that you show? And I was recently listening to a 𝕀𝕥'𝕤 sermon. And he was talking about how his granddaughter is a problem solver. And in his storytelling, it connected with me because I was like, wow, I really am a problem solver. I connected with his granddaughter. I feel like whenever I'm in a space where a problem, quote unquote problem, arises, I like immediately just jump to finding a solution. It's like I don't sulk into the problems for too long. I'm always like, okay, what can I do next? And I'll tell you in the most easiest way, and most visible way to see how I've shown over the last couple of years and how problem solving has been so eminent, and even getting to where I am today in this career. So I was at the University of Maryland. That's where I did my undergrad work, and I wanted to be a broadcast meteorologist. No matter who, what, people asked me what I wanted to be when I graduated school, and my jobs that I worked at, people was like, oh, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to be a meteorologist. I did not have all the tools that other people may have had access to. I did not have all the resources people had access to, but I said I was going to be a meteorologist. So the University of Maryland does not have a broadcast meteorology program. And so what I said was, okay, how about I study broadcast journalism? I'll have a major, a BA in broadcast journalism, and then I'll get a BS in atmospheric and oceanic science. So I have the performance well down and I get the sciences. I'm well-rounded. And so when it came down to like getting towards my senior year and actually putting things, or prior to that, starting to put things in place, it was like, okay, well, you have the science and you have the performance, but you need to merge the two. You need that practice in front of a green screen. And so for those who may think, okay, that's a big problem because that's kind of like what you do 90% of the time on the job is in front of that green screen. And so I said, oh, problem? Not really. I went to the fabric store nearby and I got some green fabric, put it up in my apartment kitchen, and I started practicing doing the weather. And the video quality wasn't good, and the sound wasn't good, and some people would say that that's another problem. So I showed what I had to my professor, and he was also my advisor at the time. And so I said, hey, I've been working on this in my apartment. Do you think that this is something that I could do with more resources, or anything that anybody could help and support me in doing this? And he said, yeah. And so he said, I have a monitor screen. It's not necessarily a green screen, but it's some type of practice that you can have, and you can, make sure you're getting those reps in kind of like you would need to do to prepare to get a job in broadcast meteorology. And so I started using that. And so in speaking with other students in the program, undergrads way younger than me, freshmen, sophomores, I found that there was many other students, well, relatively many, about 10 or so others who were like, I think that I kind of want to be a part of that. And so with that, I was able to start the first broadcast meteorology program at the University of Maryland. So it's this whole idea of like, I'm constantly being posed with what people would name as problems and then reverting them back to the world as problems for somebody else, but solutions in the grand scheme of things. I'm creating solutions for them. So I highly encourage you to take the time to find words that you can describe yourself as for yourself, not what people say you are, not what, people may attribute you to be, but what do you genuinely think are the best words to describe yourself? Think about it. Have a wonderful day.